Ni hao, Manila! Episode of Ni Hao Chats with me, your host, Valerie Tan. And since February is Arts Month, we have here with us three lovely, beautiful, smart, and very talented guests with us. Say Ni Hao to Wenjun, Nikka, and Hayley. Ni Hao.
Ni Hao.
Okay, to start things off, tell us more about your artistic craft and how did your love and passion for it begin? How about you, Wenjun?
Hi, I'm Wenjun. And then I think my art, I actually have multiple arts, but I guess for now my main art is the guzheng, which is like a traditional Chinese instrument. And then aside from that, I also do Tai Chi, like Tai Chi sword and fan. And I used to learn Chinese dance when I was young and Chinese painting, yeah.
And you learned this in China?
Yes, mostly, yeah.
Because you are native Chinese, in case for our guests who didn't know.
Yeah, I came from China, yeah.
Which part of China?
Henan province, particularly Jiaozhou city, because Jiaozhou is the origin of Tai Chi, so that's where I learned Tai Chi. Yeah.
All right, and here with us is Hayley and Nikka. Both of you are Filipino Chinese, yes. On the other hand. So how did your passion for Chinese arts begin, and what kind of craft is that?
We do Chinese dance ever since kinder?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kinder, yeah.
Tapos, since yung siblings ko kasi nag-start din ng Chinese dance, so na-involve ako, tapos na-sumali, tapos na-force din ako ng mama ko.
Na-force pero ngayon love mo na?
Yeah, actually, kasi nagtuturo ako na.
Oo, di ba? Before you were just a student and now you're a teacher. Interesting.
As for me, yeah, I started kinder as well. But for me, it's different in the sense that my parents met in Chinese dance as well, in the same dance troupe when they were in high school. So I always like say that like I wouldn't be here without dance, literally, because they literally met there. It's always been part of my life. When I was in kindergarten, I joined and then I just never left until now. I also teach alongside her and alongside my mom, who is also currently our dance teacher as well. It's really a big part of my life.
So you would say it runs in your blood?
It
literally.
Yes.
So to you, Wenjun, what do you think is the most beautiful thing about guzheng?
I guess it's from the history, because guzheng is a very old instrument. It has more than like 2,500 years of history. It's the blood that passed on from the very ancient China to now the contemporary world. So like it's very diverse. Like there is actually an evolution of guzheng. So I guess it's the varsity of guzheng that makes guzheng unique.
Here in the Philippines, guzheng is not that popular yet.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But how about in China?
Oh, it's very popular in China, especially in our city. The #1 guzheng player in China is actually from our city. So yeah, we have like a strong connection with guzheng. And that's why I really started to get to know guzheng and get more interested in that.
How about you, with the Chinese dance? Ano yung pinaka-beautiful aspect to it?
About sa pag-tell ng story, kasi parang per dance kasi may iba't ibang story. So, since yung dances na sinasayaw namin is originally from China, we try to maintain na yung lasa.
Yeah.
Yung story. And yung, kasi mostly may ethnic minorities kasi sa mga dances. So parang as much as possible, we want to maintain that taste of
like those specific tribes.
Yeah.
Like each tribe, each ethnic tribe, they have like their
own style,
own costume,
yeah.
their own way of moving. So like if you're going to dance like from the Thai tribe, it's very different from if you're dancing like a Mongolian dance. Similar with her, like my favorite thing about Chinese dance is like how diverse it is, and like in a way, we dance, like, we're not just one type of dancer. We tend to be able to do a lot, like a variety of like movements and dances. And in a way, it's like, personally for me, it helped me to understand like China a lot more. as someone who grew up in the Philippines, and it's a way for like connecting to China. Yeah, so like right now I'm currently studying in China, but I'm now staying there for quite a while, for a year, and like having this connection, being able to say that I've been doing Chinese dance since I was a kid. And then sometimes my Chinese teachers there would talk about certain tribes, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I understand this tribe because I've danced like a dance coming from this tribe before, so I have like a certain understanding of this culture. Yeah, that's my favorite thing about dancing, about Chinese dance specifically.
And dancing is like a language.
It is,
Right?
yeah.
It is a language. And for Wenjun, you use your guzheng as an instrument, and for you guys, you use your bodies as an instrument. So you're telling a story.
Yes.
So how about you? What is the hardest part of learning guzheng and up to now as being an artist?
Well, I think the hardest part is to persevere in doing this instrument, because at first I thought it's an easy instrument to play because like you just plug and then there's the sound. But then if you want to go like deeper into the instrument and you want to develop your skills and be like proficient in doing that, then you really have to put a lot of effort and time into it. So like there are so many times that I wanted to give up. I was like crying out of my heart, like it's the end of the world. And then my mom was like, you do it or not? So yeah, I'm sorry.
Tough love.
Tough love, but thankful there is tough love.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you persevered.
Yes.
So now, how many years have you been playing guzheng?
Well, I guess more than 10 years. Like I've been abroad for a long year. So there are times that I couldn't really pursue guzheng study with my guzheng teacher, but like part by part, I studied for more than 10 years. And then now I really developed an intrinsic motivation to play the guzheng.
Parang you developed your love
Yes.
for guzheng already. How about you guys? Diba sabi nyo, as a kid, you already started doing Chinese dance, so more than 10 years na, no? 15 years. So what was the hardest part naman?
There has been multiple times, especially when we were in high school, when we wanted to leave because it's physically taxing. It's
practice,
yeah, it's
rehearsals.
very tiring, and it does like hurt a lot physically.
Then yung expectations then from the audience na parang hindi namin nami-meet yung satisfaction
Yeah.
from them.
So sometimes it's like, it can be like mentally taxing as well, because you're not just dancing individually. A lot of the times you're dancing with teammates, like other dancers as well. We've reached like so many times when we have wanted to leave. Yeah, personally I couldn't because my mom's a teacher. So yeah, whenever I couldn't even bring the idea of like leaving dance up with her, but I'm glad I never left. I think after leaving high school, because obviously we danced for our past high school dance troupe. After graduating from high school, I searched for it. Like I searched for the dance. That's why I continue to do it, even though I don't really get anything from it.
Especially now kasi since siya graduate na ako, student pa, compared nung high school kami, every Saturday lang kami nakakapag-rehearse, compared now na depende na siya sa schedule namin kung anong class schedule or like kung busy ka ba sa work, ganun.
So overall, Chinese arts is honestly not too popular or mainstream yet in the Philippines, right?
true.
So how do you try to connect to the Philippine audience? Most especially you, Wenjun.
Actually, I use a medium, like a third party, to connect Chinese culture to the Filipino popularity. So I do K-pop covers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something that the Filipinos would relate to.
Yes, like something that Filipinos are interested in. So I connect K-pop with guzheng, and then to get the attention from Filipino, and thus to introduce guzheng to them. Yeah.
What is their usual reaction when they hear that?
I was like, wow, you can do that? I've never heard of it. That's interesting.
How about you guys? Paano niyo nako-connect sa audience? Yung art form.
I think it's hard because we get booked like through the school, so we don't really get to choose. And a lot of like where we perform, and a lot of times we stay within like the Filipino Chinese circle. So it is kind of a bubble. I think it's different a lot of times because personally for me, since I'm also a writer, I have like written about it. I use like a different art form to be able to talk about what my other art form is.
What is the other art form? Literature.
Yeah, I
literature.
do creative writing, but I also write like articles because I've also been like a campus journalist. Yeah, it's just like my two passions in a way. I'm able to write about dancing. I think for me personally, that's how I get to connect like my passion about like with Chinese dance to people who might not be
Familiar
that
with it, yeah.
who might not be that informed.
Have you ever performed sa China na? Not yet. Just
not
in the
yet.
Philippines. You have.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between the audience here in the Philippines and the audience in China?
I personally wasn't that good yet, but we did have like, it was a winter dance camp where we got to experience having Chinese dance teachers teach us, and we got to perform there as well. I think it's different in a way that it's not new to them, but they have like a different kind of appreciation for it. It's something that they see a lot. They still get surprised, especially when they find out that
You're Filipino.
yeah, that we're not Chinese, and it's still surprising to them. I think it's part of that like surprising aspect to them that we're not really from China. So they find that
Interesting.
Like my current teachers right now in China, they're like, "Oh, you do Chinese dance?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's been one of my only connections to China, to that part of my identity for a long time. So I stick to that a lot." But here in the Philippines, it is very new to them. So sometimes when we do performances like where it's like in public, like Chinese New Year, where we dance on the street, like
But
big
they're
stages on
intrigued,
the
ah.
street.
I see a lot of
Yeah,
Filipinos very
it's-
intrigued with the Chinese dance.
It's very new to them. That's what makes it fun as well.
I think kasi ang alam lang din nila mostly is all
Lion
about,
dance.
yeah, lion dance and wushu and
Tai Chi dance.
Tai Chi,
Yes,
yeah.
Karate.
Yeah.
Is
So
karate
parang-
Chinese? I'm not even sure.
Kaya parang surprising for me na hindi sila knowledgeable about sa Chinese dance na may existing kahit sa mga Chinese schools. Although halos same lang din naman siya sa Filipino folk dance, ibang culture lang.
Yes, correct. How about you? I'm sure you have performed in China.
Well, mostly I do competitions in China instead of performances. So like the environment is pretty serious. But then when I perform here in the Philippines, the cheering is really loud. Like I would be very happy about it and also surprised at the same time. And then yeah, like a while ago when I was saying about their reactions, they would be very surprised like, oh, this instrument is incredible. How do you make sound like this? And your fingers move so fast, like that. Even my classmates before back in high school, they're like, wow, you have magic fingers. I said, thank you. And also I can relate to what Nikka said about Filipinos turn to Chinese culture. I would be really happy to see it because I really love Chinese traditional culture. So like, I want everyone, maybe not everyone, but I want more people to see the beauty of Chinese tradition.
Like you said a while ago, dance is
Universal.
yeah, it's a language. Like there's a lot of history to dance, but you don't have to understand like the history of a certain type of dance. You don't have to, know the history of Inner Mongolia, let's say, to understand what a Mongolian dance.
Parang we wanted to share that culture. Hindi lang siya para sa amin. Na hindi lang kami Chinese, we are also Filipino.
Doing it, I guess just know that art is everywhere in your life. Like you can find art anywhere, and what you're doing is